jungler, Viego, has just arrived, and I've got a guide to get started with him. Let's go! First off, for runes, you will always want to go Precision as your main tree, and then you want to go Conquer. For some reason, few people are trying to go with Press the Attack, but with Viego's kit, he's just there for the long fights. His healing and max health uh, damage from auto attacks is just really great, and Conqueror helps him and he can build it really quickly. Then you'll want to go Triumph because you want to utilize Presence of Mind a lot since you have no resources, and Alacrity because again you're using a lot of auto attacks for your main source of damage and your Q will be cast faster. And you can finish it off with Coup de Grace, even though if you would want to play tanky Viego, you can try to go for uh, Last Stand. But Coup de Grace is overall the best option. For secondary tree, there are two options. Either Domination with Sudden Impact and Tremendous Hunter to again increase your healing and your burst thanks to lethality, or you can go for Sorcery with Nimbus Cloak and Gathering Storm, which you will mostly use if you want to go for longer games. But Nimbus Cloak is as strong as always, and Gathering Storm works really well the longer you go. Everybody knows that. But I like the Domination tree more because every time I play some champion, I like when I have Omnivamp or any source of healing. So this is my recommended tree. And lastly, for smaller runes, you will go attack speed because again, most of your damage comes from auto attacks, adaptive force, and armor or magic resist depending on enemy jungler. And that's going to be everything. I'll see you in the game. Okay, so as always, first off, you will want to take Smite and Flash because there are not that many champions that don't take Flash, and Viego is not one of them. Now, that's everything for summoner spells because there's nothing else to say, and let's have a look at his items. First off, you will want to take Ember Knife because that increased damage it allows Viego to deal is really nice, and it also kind of grants you more uh, lifesteal. I don't know what health restoration from your Q. So that's your first item. After that disappears, you will want to start with, and now it depends on preferences. Some people try to go Blade of the Ruined King first, which is okay, but his next two items, which is either Kraken Slayer or Trinity Force, are almost the same cost, so I would prefer to get them before. Mostly Trinity Force, which in comparison to Viego's kit does basically the same thing as his own blade, but does it better. So let's start with this. You will go for Trinity Force first. Then you will want to take your basic boots, and continue with Blade of the Ruined King. Because now his Q passive finally makes sense, and you will take so much damage, you will deal so much damage with just one auto attack. And also the move speed is there from both of these items, so you will move very quickly. And when you attack someone from your E, you'll be like a laser. For boots, I've seen people going for Berserker Greaves, but I think that that's just too much overkill of attack speed. So I rather go Tabis or Mercury threats, depending on enemy team comp, because Viego is much tankier than many people think, and this can help him. For your next item, you will want to take Death's Dance again. You have so much healing, and this will allow you to get it even more, everything from your queue. So that is a go-to item for me. And now I usually go for Sterak's Gauge, which works really well with Viego and can save you when you're low on health. And with all your healing, you can get back up. And for last item with this build, I either go for Guardian Angel, or if enemy team has a lot of armor, I take, oh my god, what is it called? Yeah, you can take, I almost forgot. The Chainsword is okay if they have a lot of healing, like Soraka, well, you know, healing champions. So it works nice with Viego, and that ability haste works for you because you will be able to use your Q and W much faster than you already are. But that is just an option. Most of the time I go for GA because utilizing your passive, you will be able to survive so much. You will be basically able to 1v5 team because you will be able, if you once you kill someone, you just become them. So we will be there for a long time. And other option is to go for critical hits. So you can go for Kraken Slayer, which you will have giant amount of attack speed, so your Q will be cast extremely fast. And then as a second critical hit item, you can take Collector, which will help you getting kills with your ultimate and also works really nice. Plus, it has that lethality, so you'll be able to deal a lot more damage to ADCs or any other squishy champions. But this is just a build I've tried few times, and yes, it works, but I like Trinity Force with GA more. And I believe that is everything for itemization. Now let's have a look on those abilities. First off, we got Viego's passive, which basically I will show you right now what it does. So, you see this scale right here? I do too. So, when you auto-attack a champion you have defeated, you will get a part of health of enemy champion, which you can then use. You can use all their basic abilities or, well, again, you will basically become that champion. You will gain their items and percentage of their max health. Because scale is really low, I had full health. But you basically, what you will be able to do is become them, become untargetable for a while, and use all they can. Keep in mind that you can only use abilities that they have unlocked. So right now I can only use Kel's E because she had her E. And after 10 seconds of possessing, you will become Viego again. So Viego is extremely good in extended fights because every time some enemy champion die, he can basically add another member to your team. And when they kill their teammate, you can become Viego again and destroy someone else. So that is really strong, and it's one of the best abilities in the game, in my opinion. And again, Mordekaiser will be put down because this is basically him but better. Uh, Also, another thing to keep in mind is that you can't use active items. So if they would happen to have Zonias, you can't use them. Uh, and I believe that is everything to say to this. Next, we got Viego's Q. It is, well, first off, the passive part. It works like first passive part of Blade of the Ruined King. So every time you deal damage to a champion, uh, enemy, sorry, you will deal increased damage according to their current health, which again works really great with Viego because you have really high attack speed, and this will just drain them down really quickly. Also, every time you hit enemy champion with your with any of your abilities, being R, W, or Q, you will deal damage second time with auto attack. It's not so high, but yes, yeah, 65 physical damage, and you will heal for 1.5 of the damage dealt. So if I would hit this damage with Q, my auto attack will strike twice, which is a reason why Viego is so fast with building Conqueror, which I will show you in combos, but it works really well. And active part of your Q, as you already saw, is another step in front of yourself ability. You will cast it and you will deal damage. It works kind of like Yasuo, so higher attack speed you have, the faster the cast time is. And I believe that is everything for your Q. There's not really much to talk about. Then we got your W. First off, as you can see right now, Viego will be able to dash and send forward a mist. The longer you hold it, the further the mist will go. So, for example, right now it won't reach the dame, but if I would hold it for longer, it deals the damage and stuns the first enemy it hits. Also, the dash cannot go through obstacles, so you will be stuck, but your Black Mist will still go through. So you can use this to help your team catch some enemies who are trying to run away. And again, I think that's everything said to it. Mostly any other thing that I can tell you about is that if you get interrupted, for example, stunned, you get what interrupted means. The cooldown is changed to some lower number. On level 1, I think it's to 3 seconds from 8. And right now, the cooldown, yeah, okay, cooldown is set to 3 every time, every level, sorry. So when you get interrupted, after 3 seconds, this is up, so, and you can use it again. Now we can get to your E, which is not such a great ability, but I really like it and it can be useful. So you will send forward this kind of projectile. While inside this, you will get increased attack speed and are camouflaged, basically like 2H or Evelyn. So when someone is outside of this circle, they can't see you and you move fast. When it collides with the terrain, it will spread around it for 8 seconds. So for 8 seconds, the mist will be spreading and you will be able to move next to the terrain camouflaged and really fast. The long longest distance is from what I've tested. As you can see right now, from middle of the fountain, it's somewhere to the first tower. So this whole distance is basically what you can do. You want to use this to get into the line into the jungle faster. You can use it when you're ganking and force enemies to be more cautious because their basic wards will not spot you. And of course, when you're trying to gank a line, you just use this and are there much faster. And yes, that's everything, I guess. Also, maybe when you, for example, you have to be cautious what you're hitting because right now I hit this turret and it was spread only around the turret. So when you're this, it happened to me one time next to enemy inhibitor. You just have to make sure that, for example, when you hit inhibitor, it's like they can't do anything. You can walk all around it. They won't be able to see you unless you're next to them and are killing them. And what I did was that I was next to the turret, well, destroyed, and I hit the turret. So I have had a much lesser effective French where I could have been. So that's everything there is to this, except you can cast it while using other abilities. So when I would use my W, I can continue with my E and use and move much faster when I'm attacking my target. And lastly, Viego's ultimate. It's basic execute. So I'll just try to use this. So Viego will teleport to a location and damage the enemy which is lowest on health, with increasing damage the more they are, and slow them by 99%. Every other enemy inside will take smaller amount of damage and will be pushed away. What I want to say about this is that even though when you you will be able to attack them twice. And it is really nice ability. You obviously can use it with Yasuo, so it is another combo which you can use between champions. And unlike his W, you can go through terrain, so it allows you to go through most of the walls in the game. So this one is obviously no problem. One of the more useful things are that when you go to the corner of this bush right here and aim at this part of the rock, you can actually get to the other side of this. And so when you, let's say that you're ganking the line, you're coming from Dragon Pit. If they don't have deep wards, which by the way is best way to fight against Diego is to place wards in his jungle because he doesn't care about any wards that are close to your line because he can just do this and he's invisible. And you see enemies there, you just are and are behind them. Another usage for this in the mid lane, this thick wall, you can of course go through, and there's so much more. It depends on your creativity. But the one on bot lane is one I want to show you because it's not the easiest to execute. Also, you can obviously do this it from this part of the line too. If you come right to this little curve right here and aim on this small tree, you will get to the line without uh, getting into the turret range. Works is the other way too, except I was not able to do that. So just so you can trust me, I will teleport here again, right here, not in threat range. And that is going to be everything for the abilities. Now let's have a look at some of his combos. First off, as always with any stabbing ability, I think, you can use it with flash. So you can use your Q, flash, and damage enemies far away. There's not much to this. You can just use it to get enemies which are out of your range after you used your W. Uh, Next, if you really want to, you can use it with W2, and again, someone is out of your range, you will get through a lot of distance with this. For some basic and useful combos, I would recommend you to do this fast way to get your oh my god, to get your Conqueror. So basically, you're coming into line, use your W, auto attack, you auto attack, and Conqueror is up. If you have Triforce, it's stacked already, but that's really easy. And then you can just keep damaging enemies because you have so low cooldowns that, like, you will have almost no cooldowns with Viego. Only one is your ultimate, and that has 60-second cooldown. But if you possess an enemy, you get a free cast of your ultimate. So you are able to use that really often too. Viego is basically like cool Yasuo, which is who is less uh, hard to play. For some full combos, you will want to go for WE, auto attack, Q, auto attack, and ultimate. This should leave your opponent dead unless they are tank. So once more time, I'll probably try to show it in slow motion too. And that's it. You want to use your E because once you're around them, you can move much faster, and if they have some skill shots, you can try to dodge them. So let's say that you're fighting, for example, Cartus, he won't be able to hit you because you move so fast that his Q won't be able to do anything to you. And that is going to be today's. Now, last thing, which is really important with Viego, is that apart from unmounted Glad, he has the highest melee range in the game. So you can damage enemies from this far away. Right now it does not look like much, but let's say that we get to the Baron Pit, and if they have someone who is standing next to the wall, you are able to damage them through the wall. This also works when you're in bot lane or top lane with this edit. Uh, Not really know what to call this, but you can damage enemies through this. I think it is quite worth it because let's say that you're ganking someone, you get, for example, support quickly here, ADC is running away and is going through here, you may not be able to catch them sometimes if it's some mobile ADC like let's say Lucian. So he's far away and he's trying to run through here like this. You can get a free hit through the wall. And it's sometimes enough because if you have your full build, you have added damage from Blade of the Ruined King, you have added damage from Blade of the Ruined King, and you have high basic damage already. So it is quite good. And that is everything. Right now, I will try to show you his jungling paths and try to explain why I use them and when. So let's start it off with Viego's blue side full clear. You want to get to the blue buff right here and start attacking him and trying to kite him away thanks to your longer range. You will be forced to trade one hit for one because you don't have such high attack speed and it's better on level 1. Now, you want to drag him towards the Grump till the extension, so you can hit them both with your Q. And then you can save your flash on Grump. In this clip, I was extremely stupid and did not guide the Grump, which as you can see got me extremely low. So you gotta keep that in mind, and of course you will want to smite Grump and go for it. Right here I use the E to get to the wolves faster, since attack speed is not so important here. And again, you want to hit them with your Q, all of them, and focus the big wolf. You again want to kite them and finish them off with your item. Now, you're on level 3, so you will use W to get raptors together and hit them all with your Q. Here you can see me hitting all of them, so I can get more healing. Again, you want to use W to get around, they have to chase you, you hit them all. Again, here I replace E to get to the red buff faster, stun him, and use the combo I was talking about earlier, W auto attack, Q auto attack. You want to start kiting the red buff towards the golems, and again, replaced my E so I can get there faster, stun the big golem, and try to go around it so the small one can't attack you. On golems, you want to make sure that you save your Q for the smaller ones. In this clip I don't do it, but most of the time you should. Also, on the red clear, you won't be seeing the golems because they are quite hard to take on when you're on level 2, and so you just skip them and go straight to raptors, but you will see that right now. So on red clear, you again want to wait for the red buff to start and make sure you're at the edge of your attack range. You will kite it the same way as you do the blue buff, so at the almost max possible rank towards your raptors. And then the clear goes almost the same way. So you just watch and I will be talking about a few other things. When you're in jungle with Viego, you want to make sure when you're fighting around objectives or scuttle crab, because it's mostly because you're W, because as you know it stuns only the first target it hits. So enemies may try to plant around it and hide behind the scuttle crab, so you can't stun them. Keep that in mind and try to position yourself the best way possible. Also, Viego is that's quite nice when you're taking the objectives early on because your current health damage, which again it has a cap, but it works really well, and thanks to all your healing, you should be quite fine. Also, Viego is not so strong early game. He definitely isn't weak like someone, for example, like Evelyn Cartus. But you should keep in mind that most of the early game junglers will beat you. You mostly thrive in mid lane game. And that is it. Right now you can see me quickly finish off blue buff and save smite for Grump so you can get gank easily. And that is going to be everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed. You can like if you did so. You can subscribe if you want more of the content. And let me know if you would want me to make a guide on Viego's passive interactions. Until next time, Petri out.